That's my cue. I'm going to call the meeting to order at 5:30. Members of the public are invited to participate in this meeting of council by accessing the meeting, which will be live streamed on our Middlesex Centre YouTube channel, or by contacting the municipal clerk to receive a registration link to join the meeting electronically. Members of the public may also attend the meeting in person at the Ilderton Community Centre, located here at 13168 Ilderton Road in Ilderton. We have no additions to the agenda for the February 21st meeting. I'll look to councils. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest? And seeing none, we don't have any delegations or presentations for this evening's agenda, so I will look to the adoption of the minutes. The motion before us is that the minutes of the February 7th, 2024 meeting of council be adopted as printed. Councillor Heffernan, thank you. And Councillor Cates, all in favor? And that motion is carried. Alrighty, and now moving on to the consent agenda, we have a number of items. I'm going to ask that we table this, and then we'll move to the items that we want to speak to. So the motion before us is that consent items 6.1 through 6.11 listed on the February 21, 2024 agenda be adopted as recommended. I need a mover, please, and a seconder. Councillor Burrs and Councillor Cates. And all in favor? Oh, no, sorry. We have to do our discussion. Yeah. Okay, I'll start with you, Councillor Burrs.
Just wanted to comment on item 6.2, which is the Enbridge gas rebasing application. So I wanted to thank Martha for doing that analysis. I think I triggered that. I read through it. This is the first time I've seen the Ontario Energy Board actually reject stuff that Enbridge proposed. They're proposing taking a lot of capital items, millions, and putting it into expense so they can jack their rate up. And I don't mind talking about it in the open. So I thought they did a pretty thorough thing. And there was one $250 million item that they forced them to capitalize and only allow $50 million to expense. So this is going to affect all our gas bills. So I would give the Ontario Energy Board credit for that. And I'm hoping whatever was their recommendation in here that we not support their request for support. Okay, that's it.
Through the mayor to Michael, the same thing. That's good report. One question I had was, what does standard asset risk mean?
Through the chair, Councillor Heffernan, I'd have to look into that for you to follow up. I honestly don't. If this is the sphere of jurisdiction is beyond that of the municipality. So this was just an information report that responded to council's direction from last time. The decision from the OEB certainly is not sound with respect to the correspondence that came from Enbridge. So I think the decision stands for itself. But what you're asking, I can do a quick definition and look it up for you. But it's just for information. There's no action from council.
Yeah, I think what you were asking, stranded assets, correct? That's what you meant, yeah. What that is where a company relies on regulators or the market and they want to invest millions into something and suddenly something's changed where those assets are no longer viable. That's what that means, okay? So Michael doesn't have to look that up.
Is there anything else on this section of the agenda? Okay, seeing none, then we do have a motion before us. All in favor? And that is carried. Okay, moving on to number 7. We have no staff reports tonight, so we can now move into the Committee of Adjustment. The motion before us is that council adjourn the regular meeting at 5:34 p.m. in order to sit as the Committee of Adjustment under Section 45 of the Planning Act 1990 as amended to consider the minor variance application listed on the February 21, 2024 council agenda. So members of the public that wish to receive further notification of any of the minor variance applications that are being considered tonight, I ask that you please send an email to planning@middlesexcentre.ca requesting further notification. Please be advised that comments expressed and written material presented are a matter of public record. If you have questions on any of the applications being heard today, we ask that you direct those to the appropriate planner on file. Members of the public who have requested to speak will be given a maximum of 5 minutes to address council and provide comments on the applications. In keeping with our procedural bylaw and our zone policy, I would remind all of our meeting participants to use respectful language and uphold our values of cooperation, trust, and openness. So there is an order to the proceedings. First of all, the chair, that is myself, will ask the planner to explain the purpose of the application and hearing and to present the staff report. Then the applicant or their agent has an opportunity to speak to their application. After that, the public who have registered to speak or who are in attendance will be asked for their comments. Please make sure to state your name so that it can be included in the meeting minutes. Then the municipal clerk or planner will note additional comments that have been received from circulated agencies and the public not included in the planning report. The committee may then ask questions of the applicant and or staff, and then I'll ask for motions regarding the applications. Okay, so the file before us is the application for minor variance, file A2 2024, and our planner from the county, Marion Cabral, is in attendance to provide an overview of the staff report. Floor is yours when you're ready, Marion.
All right, thank you to the chair and through you to the rest of the committee. So the purpose of this report is to provide the committee for adjustment with a recommendation regarding a new minor variance application for a medium density residential block located on Timberwalk Trail south of Arrow Road Path in phase 5 of the Timberwalk subdivision in Edgerton. The purpose and effect of the application for a minor variance is to seek relief from the comprehensive zoning bylaw as it relates to 7 regulations in the UR3-12 zone. Specifically, the applicant is requesting a minimum lot area to be reduced to 160 square meters for units 3, 4, 42, and 48. The second variance is to reduce the lot depth to 24 meters for units 4, 5, and 11. The third request is to reduce the front yard setback to 5.5 meters for units 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The fourth request is to reduce the exterior side yard setback to a public road to 3 meters, and that's applicable for unit 1. The fifth request is to reduce the rear yard setback to 4.5 meters for units 4, 5, and 11. The sixth request is to increase the maximum density to 37 units per hectare. And the final request is to reduce the minimum outdoor amenity area to 35 square meters for 23 of the 50 proposed units. And the table with all the current standards and the requested variances are located on page 2 of the staff report. So these lands are located in Edgerton, surrounded by existing and future low-density residential development, a significant woodland and natural heritage features that are located to the south, and it's within proximity to another future medium-density development to the west. Notice of this application has been circulated to agencies as well as property owners in accordance with the Planning Act. At the time of writing my staff report, staff received one letter from an area resident who requested additional information about the development and appeal rights. Leading up to this public meeting, though, we did receive a few letters from members of the public that I understand has been shared with the rest of the committee. Generally, property owners are concerned about the height of the development, lack of privacy, impact on existing single-family residents, and concerns stemming from the proposed density increase. Staff reviewed the application and provided comments related to the site plan. It is not noted in my staff report, but Public Works and Engineering identified that they're not in favor of the reduced minimum front yard setback to garage, since vehicles will be overhanging on any proposed sidewalk or roadway. Further, the requested reduction in the side yard setback to Timberwalk Trail is not supported at 3 meters. Staff would be open to a small reduction, such as 5.5, to be consistent with the building line along Timberwalk Trail. Staff have also recommended that the proposed roadway be shifted south to help reduce some of the minor variance requests and to see the layout of the proposed roadway align with Songbird Lane and Timberwalk Trail intersection. Finally, planning staff have reviewed the proposed variances against 4 tests of a minor variance and cannot consider all the variances minor in nature. Specifically, planning staff highlight the request for an increased maximum density and the reduced minimum front yard setback. So the applicants requested a reduced front yard setback to 5.5 meters for a few of the units. This reduction does not meet the minimum, this reduction does meet the minimum size for a parking space in the zoning bylaw. However, in practice, it's common to see larger vehicles within a community that meet or exceed this parking length. Planning staff have indicated to the proponent that we will not be in support of this request and advise that the private road could be adjusted again to the south in order to accommodate the extra 0.5 meters required to meet the 6 meter setback. Further, we will not support any further reduction in the rear yard setback to provide the additional room in the front of the dwelling. Further, the requested variance from 30 to 37 units per hectare is not expected to have a significant impact on traffic generation, the use of community facilities, or nor is it not incompatible with the surrounding neighborhood. However, staff note that as a result of the increase in density to allow for 9 additional units, additional variances are being sought. So that is to say that one variance is resulting in additional variances that cannot be considered minor. Planning staff have also reviewed this development from the perspective of a block development instead of a vacant land condominium. And we've concluded that some of the variances would still be required to accommodate this development. We have advised the applicant of our concerns and asked the applicant to reduce the amount of units in the development or revise the site plan to reduce the need for the density related variances. So as a result of the aforementioned, planning staff are not in a position at this time to support the requested variances. We have asked the applicant to revise the application and the associated site plan. And as such, staff are recommending deferral to seek solutions to this variance. And I understand that the applicant is working towards a revised site plan. However, my presentation and my staff report is primarily related to the site plan that is on file and the application on file. Thank you. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you for that report. On behalf of Sifton Properties, we have Alexandra Hassan, who's going to be speaking to the file. There you are. I'll turn mine off and you'll need to turn yours on so that, yeah, okay. Okay. So the floor is yours when you're ready.
Good evening to members of council. My name is Alexandra Hassan, and I'm speaking on behalf of Sifton Properties this evening, the applicant and owner of the lands. I would like to note that we have reviewed staff's report. We do understand the recommendation to defer the application to provide an opportunity in order to revise our application to reach a solution that can be supported by both Sifton and the municipality. I would like to note that we have been corresponding with staff over the past couple of weeks, and we believe that we are close to coming to a solution that is satisfactory to both parties without compromising the current lot fabric or the plan layout. It is our intent to provide for development that makes both efficient use of land and infrastructure, but also considering and being conscious of the existing and the future development that is surrounding us. Provided that we do provide a revised application within the appropriate time frame, we do respectfully request that the revised application be brought forward at the next meeting of council on March the 20th. Thank you for your time this evening, and I'm available for any questions if there's questions of committee.
Okay, thank you for that. I'm going to look to members of the public in attendance who wish to comment on this. This is the opportunity to present comments and make your observations and wishes and concerns. Please make sure you state your name, address, and observe the time limit. I'll kind of wave my hand when you've got a minute left, so if you want to wind up. Oh.
Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah. Good evening. My name is Phil Massey. I live at 14 Arrowwood. My property backs on to block 56. I've emailed a few of you, so I just want to reiterate what I've said in my emails as far as, the Arrow Path and Timberwalk neighbors' cohort feeling on the request for variances. Just want to say we understand that there's a development happening behind us. We knew that when we were buying the lots, it was going to be the case. But we have concerns with the maximum density being increased from 30 UPH to 37. In addition to what's listed here on the variances, we're greatly concerned by the close proximity of these buildings to the south end of our lots. In some instances, 2.4 meters away. A bunch of us have made substantial investments in our backyards, and privacy is top of mind. So in addition to requests to deny the maximum density increase, we're looking to suggest that the setback and two-story setback be increased from our southern lot lines. And we're also requesting that the council insist that Sifton put some type of privacy landscaping in place, just to ensure that we don't have a bunch of windows and eyes looking down on us and our families when we're trying to enjoy our backyards. That's it.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to comment or present? Okay, seeing none, then I will now turn to the committee. Oh, you've noted the additional comments, right?
Chair, thank you. Yes, there were some additional comments received over the preceding few days in the lead up to the meeting, and those have been distributed to members of the committee as well as staff this evening. So now this is an opportunity for the committee to further discuss and ask questions. Thank you.
Councillor Heffernan, start us off. So this is a very irregular sort of lot to put on townhouses. And I think it's an example with all the variances requested that it's really hard to put a square peg into a round hole. And I guess I'm concerned with the issue of emergency vehicles, as well as the garbage trucks, the issue of abutting neighbors to be able to enjoy, or even the existing neighbors for this complex to enjoy their property. One of the comments that was sent in was about the short laneways, and that the trucks would overhang, and that a lot of people have trucks. And just ironically, I just decided to count trucks going by my house, which is on Main Street. And surprisingly, and I never paid attention before, but surprisingly, probably about a quarter of them were extended cab trucks, pickup trucks. And then there was some that's excluding any commercial vehicles. So I just thought, yeah, it's true. Like, they do require more room, and especially with the hitch on the end. So anyway, I just wanted to make those comments to council and to the Siftons. Yep. Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Councillor Arts.
Through Madam Mayor, I've got some questions or issues. There's 4 dead-end streets in this proposal. And when you have like snowplows, fire vehicles, garbage trucks, large cube vans, you're either gonna have to back in or back out. And technically you should have a spotter when you're backing in or out. Like, the safety issues with dead-end streets, I thought we were trying to avoid stuff like that. That's my comments. Thank you.
Councillor Bruce.
Just wanted to summarize what the gentleman was concerned about. Density, privacy screening, and then the other issue was cars are going to overhang probably the sidewalk, making it unusable to people walking through there. I thought Hugh brought up a good point. That's it. Thank you.
Councillor Pierce.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Mayor. I just want to say I'm glad to hear Marion's report and deferral, and I agree as well, the 30 to 37, and I definitely back up the lots of people having trucks and vehicles that need to fit in the driveway. It can get really messy when there's not enough parking and a place for vehicles to go. So I look forward to seeing the next round of ideas. Thank you.
Is there anyone else? I don't see any hands, and our staff has requested that we defer this. There is a motion before us. And I'm going to read it and then we'll just take a vote on it and we'll get it come back. So the application, the motion before us is that the minor variance application A2 2024 filed by Sifton Properties Limited for relief from the zoning bylaw in order to establish various size lots and changes in depths, front yard setbacks, minimum exterior yard setbacks, minimum yard setbacks for these units, for all of those units that are listed in detail in this motion. Real property legally described as block 56 of 33M 836 be deferred to March 20th. Is there a mover for that? Sorry, we have the motion before us. That's the motion. I'll call the vote then. I'll do in this case. Oh, we do, because this is a planning. Sorry. Okay. Habits. Okay, so I did have a mover there, Councillor Shipley and Deputy Mayor Brennan. All in favor? Okay, that is carried. So we'll see that on March 20th. 2-minute recess? 2-minute recess. Motion before us is that the Committee of Adjustment adjourn at 5:52 p.m. and Council resume their regular meeting, and that Council move into public meetings at also 5:52 pursuant to the Planning Act RS 0/1990 as amended to consider the applications listed on the February 21st, 2024 Council agenda. Anyone who wants to receive further notification, it's the same process. Please send the email to planning@middlesexcenter.ca. And again, if you have any kinds of questions on on the applications that are being heard this evening, please direct them to the appropriate planner on file. Members of the public, again, will have an opportunity to speak, a maximum of 10 minutes to address council and provide comments on these applications in keeping with the procedural bylaw and our zone policy. Again, I remind our participants to use respectful language and uphold our values of cooperation and trust and openness. The order of proceedings is exactly the same as the one that I outlined for the previous section. So I'm going to ask the planner to start off, and then we'll move on to the applicant agent, public who wishes to speak, again, council, and then we'll consider motions. So the 9.1, this is again our planner, Marian Cabral, who is in attendance, and she will provide the report. What is yours?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and through you to the rest of council. The purpose of this report is to provide council with a recommendation regarding a consent application for the property at 10132 Sinclair Drive, which is located on the north side of Sinclair Drive, southwest of the intersection of Sinclair and Egremont Drive. The purpose and effect of the consent application is to sever the residence surplus to a farming operation as a result of a farm consolidation. The severed lands are proposed to have a frontage of approximately 40 meters on Sinclair Drive and an approximate area of 0.8 acres. The retained farmland will maintain a frontage of approximately 210 meters on Sinclair Drive and an approximate area of 27 acres. So the subject lands currently contain a single detached dwelling and a detached accessory structure. The lands are serviced by private services in the form of a septic system and a well. Additionally, the applicant advised that the well is currently located within the accessory building. This property is surrounded by agricultural lands in crop production. So notice of this application has been circulated to agencies and property owners in accordance with the Planning Act. Leading up to this public meeting, staff did not receive comments from members of the public. The municipality's CDO reviewed the application and requests that the owner confirm that the barn structure or accessory building is void of any stalls or pens to ensure that no animals will be kept on the severed parcel. Staff reviewed the application against relevant policies that are, relevant agricultural policies and the provincial policy statement. Planning staff is satisfied that the criteria for the severance of a surplus farm dwelling severance has been met or can appropriately be addressed through the conditions of consent. Therefore, staff is recommending approval of the consent subject to 13 conditions as noted in the staff report, and for the reasons that the consent is consistent with the PPS and conforms to the county and Middlesex Centre official plan. This opinion is provided prior to the public meeting without the benefit of receiving all comments from agencies or members of the public. Should any new information arise, council should take this into consideration. Thank you. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for that report. Is the applicant in the audience? Ah, there you are. Right up front. If you'd like to speak, the floor is yours. And if you'd want to wait, or there's no reason you have to, but if you'd like to. Okay. Okay, thank you, Mr. Witt. Alrighty, are there any members of the public who are here to speak to this application? I don't see any. Anybody online? No. Okay, no electronic tenants. So council, are there any comments, questions, concerns? Yes, Deputy Mayor Brennan.
Just one comment, Madam Mayor, and that's the fact that, again, this is coming in at 0.8 of an acre, which is exactly what we like to see, an acre or less. So I commend the applicant for keeping the lot severance to a small size.
You're here. Anybody else? Okay, well, if there are no more questions from council, then there is a motion before us, and that is that consent application B1 2024 filed by Alan Wood and Marion Wood in order to sever a residence surplus to farm operation as a result of consolidation from the lot legally described as concession 7, lot 6 in the municipality of Middlesex Centre, County of Middlesex, and municipally known as 10132 Sinclair Drive, be granted subject to the conditions. And that consent B1 2024 be subject to 13 conditions noted in the staff report, and that no livestock shall be maintained on the severed lands, and that the owner demonstrate that the existing accessory building does not contain any stalls or pens to the satisfaction of the chief building official, and further that the reasons for granting consent application B1 2024 include the proposal is consistent with the provincial policy statement, the proposal conforms to the County of Middlesex official plan, and the Middlesex Centre official plan, and subject to the conditions of proposal would comply with the Middlesex Centre comprehensive zoning bylaw. Is there a mover, please, and a seconder? Councillor, Deputy Mayor Brennan, Councillor Cates, all in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. Now moving on to 9.2, which is application for official plan amendment. And again, the floor is yours, Marion, if you'd like to provide an overview of the staff report. Maybe we'll just wait 2 seconds. Yeah. Okay, I think we can all hear you well now.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So this report is to provide information and to solicit feedback regarding official plan amendment 63 and zoning bylaw amendment 18/2023 for the lands known as 1339 Ilderton Road, located on Ilderton Road west of Hyde Park Road. The purpose of the official plan amendment is to redesignate the lands from residential to settlement commercial. And the purpose of the zoning bylaw amendment is to rezone the lands to new site-specific village commercial or C1 zone. The requested amendments would permit the development of a new commercial building on the lands that could accommodate a range of uses, including retail, restaurant, clinic, and after-school programs. The applicant proposes to retain the existing daycare to the rear of the property in addition to the commercial building. So this property has a single access onto Ilderton Road and contains one building, again, that operates as the daycare, and those two features of the property will continue to exist. The land is surrounded by low density residential development to the west and the north, community and park uses to the south, and commercial uses immediately to the east. Notice of this application was circulated to area residents, agencies, and staff. At the time of writing this report, staff did speak to residents who had concerns with the location of the proposed commercial uses and state that it would be better suited further to the west, closer to the Alderton Main Street corridor. Additionally, neighbors raised concerns about traffic generation in proximity to a major intersection, as there are a number of driveways within proximity, and that creates a hazard. Additionally, concerns relate to site development, including the location of the building in the front yard and privacy and noise barriers from neighboring residential uses. Staff later received a letter from an area resident, which I understand has been circulated to council members. This letter addresses similar issues that I had just mentioned and expanded on new concerns such as aesthetics and noise and light pollution. Staff did not have any concerns about the requested amendments. However, more detailed and technical analysis will be provided through site plan review at a later stage. Planning staff note that the focus for new commercial development should be directed towards the village center corridor of Alderton, so to the west of this property, so that any new commercial areas or nodes do not negatively affect the planned function of the corridor as a pedestrian-oriented commercial center. Further, staff understand that this site is likely to draw demand for commercial uses due to the existing non-residential use on the site, proximity to high traffic, and that's high traffic for pedestrians and vehicular traffic, commercial corner, and the nearby community and institutional uses. However, our review of the requested amendments must also consider the compatibility and the appropriateness of new commercial development and the ability to mitigate any conflicts with abutting residential uses, as well as the range of uses that are proposed to be permitted and the impact on traffic movement and function of the site. So again, staff recommend that council receive this report for information in order to solicit feedback from members of the public and council, and at a later date, we will come forward with a recommendation. Thank you.
And thank you for that report. Is there anyone here to, okay, if you'd like to come forward. If you could state your name for the record, and then I'll turn mine off when you can speak to the application.
Hi, my name is Michael Juba, and I'm one of the owners of the 1339 Road. And this is probably mentioned, this is also one of the companies as well. So yeah, I think we wanted to just give you guys a brief kind of brief update, or give you guys a little bit of rationale as to why we wanted to change the zoning on this property, and then just speak to some of the concerns that were raised. I think in particular, I thought was that, Alderton's a growing community, and I think that its needs are going to evolve over time. Particularly if you look at the official plan, they do talk about having, fairly significant population growth. And I think ideally we would like to keep, develop this property a little bit more and keep it a little bit more open to having the needs that Alderton need, addressing the needs that Alderton really needs to for its citizens as a growing city. And so we thought we wanted to, the current zoning was quite a little bit restricted in terms of the uses that we can use it for. And we thought that by providing those additional uses, it really will allow us to be a little bit more nimble and interested as required. So that was really the rationale. I think with respect to the traffic, do you want to speak to the traffic a little bit?
Sure. So we did have a traffic impact study performed, and we did find that no improvement is needed for the current intersection. In addition to this, we also had a market impact analysis, which found that we're well positioned to host additional retail, service, commercial uses, just being in close proximity to the Tim Hortons that's beside us.
there were specific concerns brought forward from the neighbors, and some of those concerns will actually be more, will be better addressed by the actual site plan. Other than that, our vision kind of for the commercial building would be something that would be kind of a smaller retail shop, whether that's, like a pastry shop or an ice cream shop. We did call the whole Operation Ice Cream. So that just kind of gives you an idea of what our vision is for this particular building. We're not any big developers by any means. We're actually both pharmacists, but I think Ilderton has enough pharmacies. So we're happy to entertain any more questions that anyone may have at this point. Hopefully we can answer those.
So I'll look to the public now. We have this rotation that's prescribed. So yeah, don't go away. We may have questions, but I'll look now to members of the public who are in attendance. Does anyone wish to come forward and speak to this? Okay. Yeah, come on up. Yeah. I think you came in after I did my preamble. If you would please give your name and your address to the clerk's records. And then we do have a time limit of 10 minutes if things go on. So the floor is yours when you're ready. I'll turn mine off.
Hi, good evening, Council. My name is Megan Weber, and we are the direct neighbors at 13333 Overton Road. Obviously, we have a young family, and most of our concerns rise from safety. It is a very busy area with the traffic lights there and with the increased population. So we get traffic backed up past our driveway, and it can take upwards of 10 minutes for us to even come out of our driveway, plus cars leaving the Tim Hortons, parents dropping off their kids at the daycare beside us. So we are concerned with the increased traffic of a commercial building and potentially anything else that's going to go there, on safety for our kids walking down the street, walking to the park, safety for the other residents, as well as the ability to get in and out of our own driveway, as we are already experiencing an issue with this since the Tim Hortons was built. Because as I said, the traffic backs up all the way past our driveway. We can't get in and out. We're waiting there to access it. There's also lots of issues in that area with cars not stopping for school buses, road rage with cars coming in and out of the daycare and in and out of the Tim Hortons at the same time. The traffic light turns green. Just yesterday morning, there was a near accident followed by people swearing out their windows and yelling at this corner right in front of our house. So we are definitely concerned about that. We're definitely concerned also about noise and pollution from increased idling and cars right beside our property. Based on the current site plan, it shows that the portion of our front yard, which is they're kind of, it's like a shared front yard. So they're sorry. Their property that shares our front lawn would then be the driveway, and we like being outside as a family, so there's issues, safety concern with that. I'm hoping that if the property does go ahead with the development, there would be some kind of fence for noise barrier and also a safety barrier. Yeah, I know there was also a noise study done with the Tim Hortons. And when that noise study was first done, it did fail for a residential neighborhood. And they redid the noise study and it passed by, I couldn't find the study to bring here, but I believe it was very, very small amount, like a few decimals. So my other concern would be the increased noise that a commercial building would bring, as we do have a lot of increased noise from the cars in the Tim Hortons with the radio and the diesel trucks stopped in front of our house and all that kind of stuff. And our last concern would be with the parking. As it is, there's not a lot of parking in that area for the Tim Hortons and the dental center, and issues with people coming in and out of the daycare driveway. And if they're for such a small space to have an additional commercial building, it would be a concern that we would be people parking on the road, blocking us in our driveway
which does already happen, and other safety concerns coming in and out of our driveway, or the kids riding their bikes, trying to get out of the driveway, going down the sidewalk, etc. And that's everything.
Thank you for taking time to explain to us what your thoughts are.
All right, thank you so much for hearing us.
Okay, is there anyone electronically? No. Okay, so no one has joined us electronically. I'll look to council members now. Are there any comments, questions, observations? Go ahead, Councillor Heffernan.
Through the mayor to Marion, I have a few comments. That area or that particular property is designated as residential with exception for institutional use. Of all the business areas in Middlesex Centre, Wilderton's Main Street Village Centre is the most connected, rather than split into different sections. With the businesses operating currently from Meredith Drive to the arena. And whether there remains a couple of properties within there, while there remains a couple of properties within the village centre that could be developed, a few others have recently come up. And beside the bank, across the street from the bank, as well as right beside the subway and pharmacy, these spaces are already within the downtown zoned, and they're zoned appropriately already. It's not clear as to whether this is a daycare, an ice cream store, or whether apartments above or any other use. A duplex or a two-story apartment building would actually maintain the residential designation. And affordable housing is needed in the Ilderton area. We do lack it. As to transportation, the configuration of Ilderton Road, west of Hyde Park, already causes problems. The turn lane into Thames and the daycare right there, then the immediate switch to straight through causes congestion now, and add more businesses would make it worse, especially for the residents, as already spoken about on the south side. The residents on the north side trying to get out of their own laneways, they already experience issues exiting. Parking, in addition to the south side already at parking, sorry, can't read my already. Parking in the is already at a premium at the Tim site during weekdays when the dental office is open. And sometimes patrons are actually forced to park at the playground in order to access either property. Any retail may impact that even further. And finally, back several years ago, the Albert Friedman report was conducted, and it started off with retooling downtown Ilderton, and it emphasized the village center in Ilderton as the area for further enhanced commercial development. And we are not there yet, but still working on it, especially with these properties opening up. There is a redesignation of this property to a commercial node with road plans for the village center that are already in the works. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there someone else? Councillor Arts?
Through you, Madam Mayor, I guess I had some questions on the last report, market impact assessment. A couple of times it says subject site is designated settlement commercial. And urban settlement, like there's some terminology that's used in there several times, and either I'm not too smart or I'm missing something, but it's stating it's stating a designation that it doesn't have. So I'm confused.
Councillor Williams?
So you're just gonna let Councilor Lutz hang there that he's confused? My question is to the applicants. There's a daycare in there now. The cars obviously have to go out to the back and turn around somehow and come back out. So how many rows do you get and what repeats itself at night? Can you comment on that? No, is that 30 cars maybe? Maybe?
So I think with regards to how many cars every day would be pulling in and turning around, the capacity of the daycare would really speak to that number. And I believe it's, just less than 30. There are families that have multiple children though. So I think it would be probably around the ballpark of 20 to 25 cars if I was to fathom a guess. But that is something that, we could easily do a count.
It's okay, but that gives you, right by the time to this lady's point. I was just wondering how they got in it. So if you put this building up, and it's gonna be a single tenant building, right? It's not multiple. You're gonna have to have parking and the ability to turn around further, correct?
That's right, yes. The way our site plan, which is very preliminary right now, is set up is to actually include 24 spaces. But, looking into the logistics of having areas to turn around is something that would need to be considered as well, whether one of the spaces is designated a turnaround space or something like that.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Okay, I don't see any more hands. We do have a motion before us, that zoning bylaw amendment, application ZBA 18/2023, and official plan amendment application OPA 63 to redesignate the land to settlement commercial and rezone to a new site-specific village commercial C1 zone be received for information. Councillor Gates and Deputy Mayor Brennan, all in favor? And that is carried. That's all we have for our public meetings tonight. So we need a motion that public meetings adjourn at 6:17 and council resume their regular meeting. Tabled. Councillor Cates, thank you. Councillor Shipley, seconds, all in favor? And that is carried. Okay, we can now move on to, there are notices of motion. So we have 7 correspondence items. Are there any here that anybody wants? Oh, sorry, I should table this first. Correspondence items 12.1 through 12.7 be received as information. Councillor Arts and Councillor Cates. And anybody want to speak to any of these or yes, go ahead, Councillor Cates.
Thank you. I just wanted, through you, Madam Mayor, I just wanted to say about the early on report and also back earlier the Y report, just to see the nice numbers and the successes of their programs and attendance. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a nice report. Is there any other item that someone wants to comment on or question? No? In that case, then we have a motion before us. All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. So we'll look to now our Deputy Mayor Brennan to provide an update on the County Council meeting that was held on the 13th of February.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The main part of the council meeting was 2024 financial outlook for the county. The county financially at this point in time is in really good shape. We're projecting the population would grow to 115,000 by 2046. The bulk of the tax base is a lot farmland, and because it's taxed at a 0.25% rate. Residential makes up about 89% of the tax base. There's a lot of user pay stuff within the county. And that was the main part of the meeting, was just the financial outlook of the county. As I say, it's at this point in time is very positive. And then there was a lengthy in-camera session that followed. Thank you.
Sorry. Thank you for that update. I don't see any hands for questions. So, is there any other business? Yes, go ahead, Deputy Mayor Brennan.
I'd just like to bring to the rest of council's attention, and I'm aware of it because I have some people involved in this. A recent fire call, a major accident on Highbury, where there was some fatalities in that. And the way the fire department operates, from what I understand, is when a major call like that comes in, the on-call chief responds, and this was at 5:30 in the morning. Chief Toth, who happened to be the on-call chief that day, he did respond and was on site with the firefighters. Things were done and the situation was looked after, but within 24 hours, they had a doctor and his team come in to talk to the firefighters if anybody was having trouble with what happened that day. And this is a fairly new program. The gentleman that looks after that is doing this program looks after the city police, the city firefighters, and the city paramedics. And from what I understand, we are the first volunteer organization in Ontario to have this program in place for our firefighters. So I'd just like to make council aware of that, and my hats off to Chief Todd for having this all in place for our firefighters, because I think it's very important that, and I know that the incident within 24 hours just took place at Bryanston Station, and there were quite a number of firefighters, not only me, and some of the older guys too, went to this meeting, and were very complimentary about this gentleman that was running the program. They were very happy with the way he conducted themselves, and the way that it was going to help them. So I just wanted to make that, bring that forward to the council, and as I say, my hats off to Chief Top for doing this.
Thank you for your comments, Deputy. Appreciate it. We have to go into closed now. So we're going to wait for the live stream to stop, and then are you doing the motion first?
Yeah, we're gonna take the motion.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you. That's okay.
So the motion is that Council for the Municipality of Middlesex Centre adjourned to close session at 6:22 p.m. pursuant to section 239, section 2 of Municipal Act 2001, as amended, to discuss the following matters. Under section 239 2C, proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board, specifically potential acquisition property in Ward 1. So we'll wait for the live stream to go off. And mover seconder, please. Councillor Arts and Councillor Heffernan, thank you. All in favor? And that is carried. So we'll just wait for everything to